So there's been another mass shooting in America, and once again the main focus of media and the main focus of what we are reading about this event and events like these is the issue surrounding the control of firearms. Now, I'm not saying that that is an irrelevant issue. It is relevant to this situation. However, it is far from the only factor to consider. It is only part of the bigger picture. And what is mind-boggling to me is that no one is talking about the reality that there are people who are murdering other people because of whatever issues they're facing in their life. Why is that not being addressed? That point of there is something very wrong because this is something that is happening often. What is the driving force behind these things that keep happening? There's something wrong with the kids who are feeling like they're driven to acts like these. That's where our focus needs to be, on the people, on us, because it's the people who are making that choice to pick up a weapon and take lives. It's not about what weapon they choose to use. It's about the very fact that they're making that choice. And I'm not saying also that we should crack down on people who do things like that in terms of harsher punishments and things like that, because that's not going to solve anything. The solution needs to be in understanding why it happens in the first place, because from that understanding we can actually see the mechanics of it, how it all came together. How did that one person who has now been driven to that particular act of violence, how did they get to that point? What happened in their lives? What kind of thought processes were happening within them? What kind of emotional things were they going through? What was their home situation like? What were the things that they used to feed these violent thoughts? Where did the violent thoughts come from? Understanding how all of those points come together will enable us to develop actual solutions, actual structures of support for people who are at the beginning stages of that. Sometimes maybe even people who are about to do something that they can't take back. Without addressing the cause of the issues, meaning the people making the choice to do things like that, it's just going to keep happening. It doesn't matter if you regulate firearms more. It doesn't matter if you make it impossible to get guns. We're an imaginative species. We're innovative. People are going to find a way to do what they want to do. So it might be guns now, and when guns are banned, then it's going to be something else. The cycle is going to keep going until the actual source is addressed. And we are the source. And it's not like it's just them and they and those ones that are the bad ones. The reality is that each one of us has the potential for that kind of violence within us. We all have the potential for great darkness and for great, for lack of a better word, light, for the best of us, the best that we could possibly be. And most people walk kind of somewhere in the middle, where you have the occasional dark thought but you don't act out on it, and you don't really do extreme acts of kindness either. You just kind of live your life, put your head down, focus on doing what you need to do to get the things that you want and have the life that you want. So just because not every one of us is able to relate to actually doing those evil things, it doesn't mean that we're not capable of it. And the reality of the matter is that because the thoughts, the occasion, even if it is just an occasional thought that is evil or cruel or spiteful, exists within us, that thought is contributing towards the global consciousness, for lack of a better term, where there are going to be certain people who actually become the manifestation of those thoughts. There are going to be certain people who choose to go into those thoughts so deeply and so completely that they believe that that's all that they are, that's all of them, that there's nothing else. And yes, once someone reaches that point of complete immersion in any particular thought or belief, it becomes very difficult to bring them back out again, because they basically don't want to. But that doesn't mean that there is no way to prevent things like this from happening again. And that's my point, that we're each contributing to the world, even in the smallest things, like what we think and what we within ourselves believe is acceptable. And it's time for us to make that focus on self-reflection and on self-awareness and on understanding human nature, human behavior, so that we can actually start developing ways to change the kinds of behaviors, the kinds of actions that we don't actually want to be living, that we don't actually want in this world. Things like rape, murder, exploitation. So, as with anything, the change starts with us on an individual level, in the sense that our self-awareness of how we function within ourselves contributes towards creating a greater movement with more people who do the same. And every person who is doing it and sharing their journey of their findings of, this is how I came to be who I am, and this is why I made those choices, and this is how I could have done things differently to have a different outcome. The more we share that, the more opportunity there is for other people who are struggling with similar issues to find us and to find support within our experiences and what we've learned, so that they don't make the same mistakes that we made. Okay, that's it for now. If you have any questions or comments or would like me to expand on anything, please leave a message or a comment. And otherwise, thank you for watching. If you'd like to support me, you can do so on Patreon. I shall see you next time.